Hello, dogs by nature, and welcome back to Rufios Film Room. Today I'm going to be looking at the run game in the Browns versus Indianapolis Colts game. In another post coming up pretty soon, we're going to look at sort of the funhouse mirror version of this game, which was the San Diego Chargers game. The Colts game, obviously, we did not do too well on the ground. Trent Richardson had 8 carries for 8 yards, and in the Chargers game, he set a career high with over a buck 20. So I just want to point out some reasons as to why that was happening. Obviously, Richardson was hurt, but the Colts were sort of scheming to take him out of the game as well. So we pick up here is the first play of the game on offense for us, and we're going to see the Colts sort of mess around with their safeties and they're walking players up, pre-snap movement at the line of scrimmage. At the last second, you're going to see them screw this strong safety into the box. Okay, so he rotates down into the box, and he becomes the 8th man in this front. Now, anytime you get 8 in the box and you have 7 blockers, you can't block everyone. So the Colts have a free man. They have a man for every gap that we can present to them, and that's usually not a good recipe for sustained success of gaining yards on the ground. So on this play, we actually have what I thought was a great play called. Whedon looks down at Ben Watson here, the tight end, draws 3 defenders in the middle of the field with him, and opens up the side for Trent Richardson here. So we got him the ball in the passing game when the Colts were scheming to take him out of the running game. So we're going to get a look at their front here. They played this same front most of the game. Colts play, a 3-4 with these 3 being down linemen here, but really it's a 4-3. It's a one-gap scheme. It's more or less a 4-3 under. You're going to have a 1 technique strong. You're going to have a 3 technique on the weak side of the formation. On the weak side, you're also going to have a speed rusher who's going to play either, here it's a wide 9, that mythical wide 9 technique. Sometimes it'll be head up over the tight end or a little bit closer, but he's going to be your speed rush guy. On the strong side, here they have him head up with the tackle. You're going to have more of your run-stopping defensive end. So for the Browns, we can think about Jaquay Parker or Jabal Shear being out here, whereas your Frosty Rucker is going to be the strong side end who's sort of tougher against the run. Then you got a Sam linebacker who's up on the line of scrimmage, and Mike and Will are sort of off the line of scrimmage in your more sort of traditional linebacker role. Now, because this defense's left here is the strength of the formation, as the Colts have called it, they are rotating this strong side safety down in the box. It's 8 men in the box. We have these guys can't guard both Ben Watson here and Trent Richardson out wide. We dump it off to Richardson, and we get a good gain out of it. And that's a good method for sustained success moving the ball, is to basically take what the defense is giving you. And they're trying to take away the run, so we took a pass. So here we are a little bit later in the game, and I said earlier that you're not going to have sustained success running into that extra guy. Well, here we sort of are getting kind of cute with this. We're trying not to abandon the running game. The Colts are still putting 8 in the box. We have 2 tight ends in the game. So they have 8 in the box. We have 7 blockers right here on the line. But what we're going to do is we can see this strong safety right here is the one who's up in the box. We're going to try to run away from him, and we're going to try to have everyone on that side of the play blocked up. So even if this guy remains unblocked, he's going to have to run laterally and meet our runner after, hopefully, he's gained a few yards. We're going to see tremendous front side blocking on this play. It's going to be from Joe Thomas and John Greco playing at left tackle and left guard. They're going to double team this defensive tackle here up to this linebacker here. And watch as they come off the ball how they push that lineman back, and they're going to put him on skates 3 yards deep and go off and get that linebacker. So that's the way it should be done. They pick that up tremendously on that left side of the line. Look at the new line of scrimmage. Old line of scrimmage was at the 24 here, and they get it up 26-27. Anytime you make that New York line of scrimmage 3 yards downfield, that's great. The unfortunate part about this play, it is a zone play, is that Trent sees this defensive tackle right here in the hole, getting penetration, and has to cut it back. Now, a lot of people have criticized Trent for dancing in the hole. I do believe that's true sometimes. He tries to sort of break it all the way to the outside and make a big play when he can put his head down and get 4. In this situation, he's not getting anything trying to run into this 300-pound defensive tackle. So he tries to cut it back and look for some daylight, and really everything's bottled up on that back side. Now, initially when I watched this play, I thought it was Alex Mack at fault. Okay, we're going to see it's going to be this defensive tackle right here who gets that penetration. First, actually, let's look at the positive. Our left side of the line blocking this defensive lineman up to this linebacker here. Greco and Thomas start out double teaming him, and then Thomas is going to leak up to get that linebacker as he presents himself. That's the way it should be done. 2 people to block, 2 blockers to do it, 1 guy on 1 man. Now, with Mack, Mack is under the impression that he is double teaming this lineman here, this defensive tackle here, up to this linebacker with right guard Sean Laval. Now, Laval seems to be confused off the snap as to who he's blocking. He doesn't go immediately for that, get his hands on that double team with Mack. And Mack thinks he's just going to let Laval overtake this defensive tackle, and Mack is going to leak up here, be able to get this linebacker. Now, as Mack leaps for the linebacker, you can see that it's too late. Laval notices it's too late. He's already past him, and he's lunging and reaching and trying to shove that guy out of his way. And by the time that he does, Trent can't cut back and get any room. He's got 2 guys meeting him up in the hole here. And so he's going to try and bounce that all the way back outside. It doesn't work. But this is the sort of thing, the breakdown, where just one player not doing their jobs can affect the whole thing. Now, do I love it that we ran into 8 in the box? Not exactly. But this play can work if we get these 2 players to block these 2 guys, which doesn't seem like it should be that hard. We can get 4 or 5 yards on this side of the line of scrimmage, and then this safety is going to have to make a tackle on Trent Richardson. And I love 33's chances if we can get him unblocked into the secondary. So this clip is going to be after Montario Hardesty has entered the game. So now you'll notice that the Colts strategy has changed in this run. A lot of people said Montario was having success when Trent went out. Yes, but Trent changes the game. He changes the defense. He made the Colts, screw that safety up into the box. And here we see them playing and staying in a 2 high safety look. Now, what that means is with 7 blockers on the line of scrimmage, we have, again, 2 tight ends. They have 7 in the box. We can get everyone blocked, and that means we can get Montario unblocked up to these safeties here. So the line, as we roll through this, you can see the correct people are blocked. Correct people are blocking the correct people. We leak up, we get those 2 inside linebackers. Montario is untouched all the way to the safety. Now, did he make a guy miss? Did Montario make a great play? No, but he did show some nice burst. He's able to find the hole, hit it hard, and get us a nice good chunk of 8 or 9 yards here. We're going to see it from the end zone. Again, 2 high safeties staying out of the box. We're going to see it's an inside zone to the right this time. And Laval is responsible for, again, double teaming up to that linebacker. He does not get the double team at first, but he at least gets up to the second level. Mack is able to roll that nose tackle out of the way, and Hardesty gets up to the safeties without being touched. So this is just a difference in the Colts strategy when Trent was in the game versus when he wasn't. When he was in the game, they wanted to take him away. They were rolling that extra safety up into the box, basically daring us to pass. And so I believe that we tried to take what they were giving us in terms of knowing that they were playing in single high safety coverage and throwing against it. When Trent left the game, they were able to sort of key on the pass a little bit more, leave that second safety deep, and then we were able to beat them on the ground a little bit because they took that guy out of the box to stop the run. So I'm going to take a look at one last play here with Montario Hardesty in the game. Here you're going to see the Colts actually come back to that same type of single high defense. They got one safety deep. They rolled the second safety up into the box. And again, we have our two tight ends in the game. We're in 12 personnel here, one back and two tight ends. This is another way that Montario was able to have success against this sort of stacked box. And I think it came from something that the coaches saw throughout the Colts game, and I think they also try to carry this concept over into the San Diego game. But here you can see we're able to pull a lineman and have this extra guy in the box be so far out of the play that he's not able to get over to the ball carrier. And if he is, we've already gained our solid 4 or 5 yards. So we kind of make somebody's gap disappear by pulling this lineman to the other side and leave this safety over here unblocked. We're trying to outflank the defense to the right side here. So just really quick to look at it, we've been using motion like this or similar to this or this motion much of the game. Here this is Cameron that we've hit at fullback. We're going to see him motion out. And we see the Colts linebackers just bump a little bit, okay? Their weak side end is also going to bump in. Actually, I would guess this would be the Sam linebacker, but the weak side end bumps over as well to maintain that outside leverage on this blocker, on the M-man on the line. So we're going to see basically this down lineman's gap is here, and this down lineman's gap is here. Now, with Greco pulling out, they're both into the same gap, and they're sort of wasting a player to fill a gap that's no longer there. Now, with Greco pulling, this play is set up perfectly. We're able to block everyone on the front side of this play, just like we tried to with Trent in the game. And here's that safety on the weak side. He is hopelessly out of position, hopelessly behind the play. He's just so far out of the point of attack that we're able to get solid yardage like this. And this is something, it's a way for the coaches to sort of stick with the run despite the other team dictating that we pass the ball by rolling that extra guy up into the box. You see sometimes we'll check the run to go the opposite way. We've seen Colt do that on a number of occasions. If this safety rolls down on this side and we have the run going left, you'll see him, do his little dance behind the line of scrimmage and basically change the run to go to the right away from this man. And so we can see with center, Alex Mack has a good blocking angle on this tackle. He's already to Mack's left, so he doesn't really have to do any sort of athletic reach block or push him out of the way or anything. He's already there. He just sort of has to wall him off to the inside. To the weak side of the play, and we have 1, 2, 3 blockers on the strong side. They have 1, 2, 3 players on the strong side as well. And then it's Montario. We have Greco pulling to come get this guy. So that's going to be 4 blockers that end up on the right side. And it's going to be Montario up into the secondary if everyone can hold their blocks. You can see that there. We even get the benefit of a nice little double team with Schwartz and Laval here on this down lineman. And Schwartz is way up to get this linebacker. So Schwartz and Laval are able to create this nice seam. Greco kicks that guy out, leads up into the hole. Cameron kicks this guy out. And Montario gets a nice bit of yardage despite a stacked box. So this is something we try to carry over to the San Diego game, and tune in next time for my analysis on that. Thanks for tuning in to Rufios Film Room.